All right, let's do the animals lab. So I've got like a fresh React app, fresh out the oven. So let's go through here and let's look at the requirements. So in a React application, create an arrays X component. Okay, that's very okay, whatever. We'll make a components folder. Okay, and then we'll call it arrays x.tsx because we're using TypeScript. Okay, little small note about just convention. So we're going to create a component. We're going to do function arrays x. At the end, we're going to do export default arrays x. Come on, IntelliSense. Cool. All right, notice how the name of the file, okay, we have one component per file. Okay, you don't have to do that. There's nothing telling you have to do that. It's just nicer, right? It's a typical thing for people to do to put one component per file. Then the component needs to be named the same thing as the file. So our component is named arrays x. Remember, our component is a function. Okay, that's kind of the conceptual hurdle you have to get across. This is your component. This function is our component. So the name of the function is arrays x, therefore the component's name is arrays x, therefore the file's name is arrays x. Okay, everything goes together. I'll just put a return here with a div, right, just so we can get started. Okay, and this is all you need for a basic component. I mean, it won't show much of anything, but we've got the name and everything in returns. It's got a div, so we've got the basics. All right, add a state value to arrays x named colors that is an array of strings, such as red, orange, and yellow. Okay, no problem. All right, so we're going to do const color set color. Remember, the first variable is the actual variable that will hold the state. The second variable is a function that will change the state. Okay, equals use state, and our state is a string. Okay, actually it's an array of string, and its initial value will be an array of strings. Let's say red, yellow, and orange. There we go. Neat. Okay, we'll import this. All right, another little small organizational tip. Typically, your use state should be before your return. Okay, so you're going to do all your state and function stuff before your return. All should go up here. And if you're going to do multiple states, your component could have 10 states. It could have 20. Like, who knows? You're going to list them one by one. So, for example, if there was another state, like there will be later, we're going to put it after this one, right? The state should go up top because that's where people will expect to read them. All right, do they have to? Not necessarily. But like I said, we want organization so the next programmer doesn't tear their hair out trying to read what we did. All right, so now we're going to use map to render an ordered list of all the colors in the array. Use the array key as the index as the key. Sweet, let's do it. Okay, so in here, right, typically I'm going to do class name equals arrays x. It's very typical for the parent element of a component to have a class named after the component. That way in the CSS you can target just this component. Okay, another convenience item. They would like us to map all the colors. Okay, actually, let's make it plural because that makes more sense. Okay, there's more than one color. All right, so an ordered list. So the thing you have to remember with mapping, with like listing out things, is that there's usually a containing element, and then there is also the children element. What I mean by that is, if we were to just list red, yellow, orange in a list with HTML, it would look like this, right? Li, red, li, yellow, etc. Okay, we were doing it by hand. This is what we would do. What we want is for React to output this for us. So the way I look at it is you're going to map the child elements but keep the parent element. So these are the children. Okay, the parent is OL and the children are the li tags. So let's get rid of the li tags and keep the parent element. All right, we're going to do curly braces to let the computer know we're doing JavaScript. Colors.map. All right, we're going to use a function. In this function, we're going to do the first variable, which will be color, which will represent each element. So remember, map is going through this array up here, or any array really that you give it, and it's going one by one by one. Okay, it's going to each one. Well, I need a variable to hold what that value is. Okay, in this case, it's color. I'm also going to use a second variable called index. Okay, and again, you don't have to name these things. You could name this zebra and violin if that's what you felt like doing. Okay, it's not about the name of the thing, it's about the position of the thing. Right, so color and index. Okay, index will retain the index of the element. So for example, when map starts going through your array, it's going to go to red here and save red as color. Red is in position 0, so index will store position 0. Then it will go to the next thing. Yellow will be stored in the color variable, and 1 will be stored in the index, so on and so forth. The reason we do this is because we're going to use a key, right? So I'm going to do my li tag. Let know, hey, I'm going to put a variable in here and put color in here. Now, this would show up on the screen, okay, if we ran it, but React likes for us to add a key to child elements, which helps React update the UI faster. Okay, it's like giving a unique ID to an element within a list. Okay, so typically, because we're listing stuff out, we have this index, which is going to be unique by their definitions. Let's go ahead and use it. So key equals index. All right, so this should list out pretty much every color that's going to be in our array of strings. All right, let's give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to do npm start, and we'll wait for React to do its thing. Oh, one thing I always forget to do is to forget to put the component inside the root. So let's go to app, and then I'm just going to do arrays x / and then ncaret and import it. Okay, there we go. So now you can see it. So if we go to our thing, I'm going to refresh. There we go. Red, yellow, orange. Okay, so it will display our list of string. Now play around with this a little bit. So go back to our code. If you just go ahead and add another string to the default state. So for example, if we go back, let's go back to the component, arrays x, and let's go ahead and add, I don't know, blue. Okay, or whatever color strikes your fancy. Okay, and then switch back. Okay, and there we go, blue. Okay, so that's what it will do. It will take that state and splash to the screen. So let's go over the logic one more time so we understand. On line 8, we have the parent element, which is ordered list, OL, which is why they're numbered. And then inside, we are mapping colors, okay, that state variable colors, which is holding an array of string. And we said, cool, we got this array of string, but I would like to map this to the screen. Okay, so we do things declaratively in React. So we use functions like map. Okay, map takes in this case, map has two parameters, color and index. Color will be, in this case, represents the elements of the array from colors, which is going to be a string. And again, if you ever don't know what these variables are, just hover over it with your mouse. It'll tell you color is a string. Okay, index is a number, right? So color will get me the value, index will give me the index, and then I will create an li tag with a key of the index, and inside the li tag will be the color, okay, whatever color it happens to be. Alrighty, so that's all well and good. Now we need to add a function to the component, add color string. All right, so we need to do this in a functional way. Okay, again, this stuff should be before your return. Okay, your return should be the last thing in your component. Okay, everything else comes before it. Function add color, which takes in the color, which is a string. Okay, and returns void. Okay, now we are doing things the functional way. Okay, React is not purely functional. Like, we're not doing pure functional programming. We're just kind of taking ideas from functional programming and using them in React. And the devs at React thought that this would be more efficient, and I think they're right. So we're not doing like full, like everything's a pure function. Like, we're not doing that. But because we've selected the functional paradigm, we have to follow it. So what that means is that values are immutable. Remember, mutable means you can change it. So for example, let's say you had a variable like let first name equals Jonathan. Then you do first name equals Bob. Well, you've mutated first name. Okay, it had a value, now has a different value. You've changed it, you've mutated it, technically speaking. So I don't want to mutate colors. Colors is an array. If you hover over it, this is an array of string. Colors is an array of string. I can't mutate it. So that means that I can't, for example, do this. Colors.push color. Okay, this will not work. Push mutates the colors array, meaning push adds the color to the array, meaning the array has changed. Okay, so the array starts off as red, yellow, orange, blue. Then the array will be red, yellow, orange, blue, plus whatever the color is, but it will still be the original array has been changed. In functional programming, we get rid of the original and replace it with another array. Okay, so we say, okay, the original's destroyed, and here's a new one. Now you might be saying, well, that seems like kind of a bother. Sure, but it's really not that hard to do with the functional way. So what the functional way says, okay, cool. Make a new array, copy the first array over, and then add the new thing at the end. Right? And JavaScript gives us a spread operator, which makes it super simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the function setColor. Okay, because remember, this function is responsible for changing the state of our component, specifically for this variable right here, colors. They're a pair. setColor is responsible for colors. Then we're going to do pass an array, ... for the spread operator, the variable colors, and then color. Okay, what this is saying is, okay, cool, I'm passing in a new array. I like to copy all the values of colors. Okay, we're going to take all the values of colors and spread them out in this new array, and then after that, we're going to put color. Now, as far as like order you put these things in, I tend to do it this way because I want, like, if they add, like, I don't know, pink should go at the end. So that's why we have it spread out everything first and then do the color, but do what you feel like. Okay, so this is the functional way. Instead of doing it where we take colors and mutate it or change it, we replace it wholesale with a different array. Right? The React, it wants us to do it in the functional way. Cool, so we've got this function add colors, and then let's go ahead and add a button. We'll call it blue, or I already did blue. Let's do it violet. Cool. Button on click is equal to arrow add color violet. Okay, so when I click on this button, it's going to run the function add color with violet as the input. All right, so let's actually give this a go and see if our code is working. Okay, I'm going to click the button. There we go, violet. Okay, I can click as many times as I feel like, and it will always add violet to the end of the array. Remember that state colors, that colors variable, is what's holding the information we're seeing on the screen. Okay, now you might be saying, well, Jonathan, I don't want to do it the functional way. And you may not want to do it the functional way, but React wants you to do it the functional way. So if I were to replace line 7, I'm going to comment it out. I'm going to replace it with colors.push color. Okay, this mutates colors. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my program. I can click this button from now until Kingdom Come, and it will not do anything. Okay, because React will not react to this. Okay. By the way, the whole point of the name of React is it's supposed to react to what the user does, or react to events. All right. So we have mutated or changed colors. It's supposed to be replaced by something, and so React's algorithm to pick up differences will not pick up the difference, and so it will not display it to the screen. So if you don't, at the very least, if you don't totally understand why React has you do that, at the very least, know that you have to do it the functional way, or else the UI won't update. All right, so no matter how many times you push that button. Okay, so at the end of the day, you got to play ball. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and comment this out and uncomment this, all right, so that we have our set color. Okay, cool. Now, I think we're supposed to do more, so let's take a look at what else they want us to do. Pets table. Create a pet interface with 3 properties, name, type, and ID. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to make thing that says models, and we'll do pet.ts, export interface pet, interface without the D. It has name, which is a string. What was the other thing that they wanted? They wanted type. Like type, I guess, is like dog or cat, string, ID, which is a number. All right, cool. We've got that. That was pretty simple. I'm guessing we're going to have an array of pets, and they're going to want to show them to the screen as state value to arrays x named pets as an array of pets. Hard code several pet objects in the initial value. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's go back. Let's save this and go back to arrays x. All right, let's go back up to state. Okay, remember we're gonna organize this. So the first state is colors. The next state is pets. So constant pets set pets equals use state pet array, because it's an array of pets. Okay, and then we need to add some like default pets to our list. All right, so it's an array of objects. So the first object should have an ID of 1, and then we're going to use the name, which is Fluffy, and then type is a cat. Okay, and I'm going to reformat this a bit because I don't want to type all this stuff out. I want it to look a little bit decent, so we'll do that. I'll make 3. We'll have Fluffy and Murgatroyd. I put commas after these. There we go. Oh, got There we go. And get rid of you, and get rid of you. Cool. Fluffy Murgatroyd. And then Aloysius. Murgatroyd's a fish, and Aloysius is a dog. Neat. All right, so now I've got my state. Okay, it's an array of pets. Common mistake to make is that, remember, if you have more than one thing, you're using an array. If you have one thing, you're not using an array. So a lot of times beginners will do this and forget to put the array here. Okay, you're dealing with more than one pet. All right, we're not making a function to add a pet, okay, but we are going to list out the pets in a table. Let's do it. So we're going to do table. Tables have a head, sothead. Table row for tr. Okay, table head. Let's name and type. I just want name and type. Fantastic. All right, let me show you what these do. Okay, so I'm going to head over to our thing. Notice how we're starting a table, and the table head is name and type, so it's like the top of the table. It tells you what the columns are. So that's what that TH stands for. All right, and so that's cool. And then we're going to do tBody. All right, now let's think. For each pet, I need to have a row. Okay, so if I were to do this by myself, normally, like just typing it out, I would do tr, td, fluffy, td, cat. Okay, if I were to do this like by hand, okay, it was non-dynamic, I would just type out tr, td, fluffy, td, cat, and then for the next one, I would do tr, td, etc. You see a pattern here. You're doing the same thing over and over again. So this is the thing I need to map. Okay, so this is the parent element, which is tBody, and the thing I need to map or do over and over and over again is this tr. So let's go ahead and do that. So I called it what? Pets? Cool. So curly braces, we're doing JavaScript, pets dot map. Okay, pet, I don't need the index, so I can choose not to have it. And then inside, I would like to do td pet dot name. Oops, I think I need tr in front actually first, because each one's a new row. So tr first, then td, which is pet dot name. Another td, pet dot type, and then these trs will need a key. So I'll do key equals, and I'll do pet dot id. Okay, because the ID is unique. Remember, the key is just about uniqueness. It doesn't really care if it's the like ID of the thing, or if it's like the index of it in an array. Like, who cares? As long as it's unique. Okay, and in this case, we kept our IDs unique, so that will work. All right, let's take a look at what we have done. So on the left side, you can see we have a table. At the top, we've got name and type, and then Fluffy, which is a cat, Murgatroyd's a fish, and Aloysius is a dog. Okay, remember we mapped to a table row and then 2 cells, each with table data. Right, this is a common thing to have to like make tables and make lists appear on screen. So try to like practice this. This is a common pattern. So notice I did the table head, I just typed it out. But for the actual data, which was dynamic, which changes based on the number of pets, I mapped each table row, gave the key, the ID, and then just did a TD for all the TDs I needed. So I had a TD for the name and a TD for the type. Okay, I still use map. Okay, if you shouldn't need to use map more than once. Okay, if you're using map more than once to like list out things, you're probably doing it wrong. Okay, so that should do it. All right, so practice this. Practice being able to write a table and practice being able to write a list. You'll be doing those things a lot. They're very basic things, so be sure you're comfortable with them.